Jason, welcome back. Take us inside. How you got the call? Were you expecting it? Is it a bit of a shock to be here, or what was your thought process?
Yeah, I think firstly, when the boss became the national team coach again, it reignited a bit of flame and maybe ambition to work hard and maybe get an opportunity. And then, yeah, I got a text that I was on the monitoring list, and that obviously, that's the first step in the process. And then I got that call, I got the text, and very excited. My family was very excited. For me personally, my kids, I only had one daughter at the time when I represented the country last time, so to have my son now that's a bit older and understands football, he was very excited. So for me, from my family perspective, they were very happy, and me too, I'm happy to be here.
When did you get notified you're on the monitoring list?
A couple of weeks ago. So obviously you go into that first preliminary squad and then it cuts down, and then a couple of days before camp we got notified that we made the final cut.
Had you given up? I mean, it had been so long. I mean, 2022, but between that was 7 years. Had you given up hope that this would happen again?
I don't think you ever give up hope. I think it's always in the back of your head, because for me, I've always said in my career that to represent your country is the greatest honour and privilege. So you always, as a footballer, have that ambition to represent your country. But it's difficult sometimes when you're away for so long. And unfortunately, I did get that call up in 22, just pre World Cup, but then injured myself just before in the practice game. So I didn't want to end my international career that way, and I've been fortunate enough to be given another opportunity.
You've been a spectator like us. What's been missing from the Socceroos? Has it been frustrating watching some of the games?
I think, as a spectator, you look, and I know a few of the boys that were in the squad. I played with them. So you always want your country to do well. I'm not sure. I just watched, and you could see, I don't know, my answer. You just want the team to do well. But I think, with the boss coming in now, he's created some standard structure, a game plan, and I think everyone will know their responsibilities. So I think going forward now, we have a game plan and we want to execute that.
Do you feel like you've been maybe unfairly overlooked in the past? Like you missed out, and is it good that the coach is mixing it up with you?
As a footballer and as coaches out there, everyone has a different opinion about players. So for a footballer, all you can do is produce and do your talking on the pitch. I thought, playing in Belgium at the time, I was doing as much as I could. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. And now, a new manager's come in. He has a style of play. I've worked under him twice. So for me, it's just about doing my talking on the pitch. And I'm sure, like all the boys here, everyone wants to go out there and hoping for an opportunity. And it's your responsibility as a player to go out there and take it.
You've spoken about playing with Pablo before. Does it make it easier to come back into the national team setup with a coach that you are familiar with his coaching style?
Yeah, definitely. Also because, I've worked with the other staff members that he's brought in as well. So for me, I played in this system in Perth. In my first year at Victory, we played a different formation. So very similar in what he wanted back then. So we had a meeting already about just the structure of what the team wants to do. And for me, very similar, especially with tactics and in general everything. So it makes it a bit easier, yes.
Narratives around these games is that they must win. Is that the approach that the team is taking? Is there any danger in thinking about games like that?
No, to be honest, I think, like I said before, about standards and responsibility. Why shouldn't we be thinking that way? Each game should be a match where you think that you have to win, and you go out there to win. So for me, these next two games, we're going out there for 6 points. But the first things first is we got Thursday against Indonesia on home soil, so we have to go out there and believe in ourselves, believe in the system, and go out there and try to win.
When you look at the squad, as is bench, it's probably very experienced left back. Do you feel like you're in a shootout with some of these guys, and how does that, how do you balance that out in training?
I think the responsibility of coming into the squad is to push one another. And one thing I know with the boss is that no one can expect to play. Everyone is on their tippy toes, and everyone needs to perform well in training, and then that when given that opportunity, needs to perform on the pitch. So for me, the first step was to come into camp. That was to step into the door. And now my job is to perform in training, and if given that opportunity, to take it.
Does it feel nice to reminisce with the likes of Jackson, who you played with in this squad before as well?
Yeah, there's like I said before, there's a couple of boys that I've played with. We were actually reminiscing last night at dinner, talking about some old stories and saying that we're getting older now, and maybe a bit dinosaurs in this change room. A lot of young faces and young players coming through, which is good also for the national team, that you can see that the next generation of boys are coming through.
The family be there, mate, or are they some still overseas? Or
my wife and the kids are back in Greece, short turnaround, and they've got school, so can't miss too much school. And our family in Melbourne, but unfortunately my parents were actually coming over to Greece. They already planned the trip, so they won't be there, but I'm sure they'll be supporting through the TV.
The kids asked to have a day off school, or what?
They wanted the 2 weeks off school. They wanted to come here and then China, but unfortunately, yeah, like I said, they can't take too much days off school.
Playing in Greece, from afar, sometimes it has that reputation of being just real fiery and fierce, and just give us an idea of playing there, what you've experienced and what you think you can bring from that to here.
Yeah, definitely, let's say, more hostile environments. I know we have a bit more rules and regulations here in Australia. Over there, it's a bit more cagey, and yeah, I think when you experience that kind of pressure, you're used to that, and then when you come here, it's a different environment, but you have different pressures here. So I think, I've been around the game for a bit now, so you're used to the pressure. But if you are prepared well, you know how to handle the pressure, and you go out there and just have to execute what you have to do.
What do you make of some of the young players who maybe missed out on this window, the likes of Noah Bontic, and stuff like that, them coming up through the ranks?
Yeah, I think, like I said before, we have a great pool of next generation coming through. Very happy to see them doing well. Nesta's doing really well. I see on his loan move in Switzerland. So for me, having worked under the boss before, my advice to those guys would be just to keep their head down, keep working hard, do your talking on the pitch. He's always watching, and you never know when your opportunity comes. I can just use myself as an example that, when you least expect it, you might get that opportunity, so you've got to make sure that you're ready to take it.
Those younger guys that did make it in, is being like a mentor or someone more experienced in the camp something that you enjoy? Do you try to mentor them and help them make that jump? Like, is that something that you like to?
I think they've earned their call, so they're obviously doing something right. From my perspective, I'm here to do my job, and if I have to lead by example and just be professional, and like I said, we all have to just do our talking on the pitch. So if, as one of the older players, we know what we have to do, so by doing the right things on and off the pitch, and if they can learn from that, or they're probably doing those steps already because they're here, we just got to do it collectively and then do our talking on the pitch.